Hello class, today we're going to be talking about bacteria, and our standards say that we're going to focus on the similarities and differences between bacteria compared to plant and animal cells and also protists, and also the idea that bacteria can be both helpful and harmful to us and the environment. So bacteria are everywhere. They're microscopic, so they're very, very small. We can't see them without using a microscope. They are everywhere from the tallest mountains to the deepest part of the ocean, and basically everything around us is just covered in bacteria. They can multiply very quickly, so just one cell can replicate into over 1 million in just 12 hours, whereas human cells are going to take just 24 hours to split. Did you know that mobile phones are covered in 18 times more bacteria than a toilet handle? Some characteristics of bacteria. So they are single-celled or unicellular organisms. They are called prokaryotes because they have no nucleus. So unlike a plant and an animal cell, they have no nucleus. Their DNA just kind of floats in their cytoplasm. So they do have some of those similar organelles that we've discussed, but not a nucleus. Bacteria are classified by their shape. So later on we'll look at the 3 types that we're going to focus on. And bacteria can be helpful, but others are definitely harmful to us and our environment. So the harmful bacteria. Some bacteria can cause diseases. So things like E. coli and Salmonella can cause food poisoning. Other types can cause things like pneumonia, meningitis, strep throat. So these may have been things that you've experienced, some of these bacterial infections. They can be cured using antibiotics. So if you went to the doctor and had one of these infections, then that would be what they would give you to get rid of it. On the other hand, there are definitely lots of types of bacteria that are very, very harmful to us, both inside our body and all around us. Some bacteria are used to make dairy products like cheese and yogurt and sour cream. Scientists have been using bacteria for a really long time to produce medicines like vaccines. There are also types of bacteria that have been used to clean up oil spills. Unfortunately, they don't work very quickly, but that's just another way that they can kind of help us out. And bacteria are also decomposers, which we'll talk more about in our ecology unit, but this means that they're going to eat those dead and dying organisms, plants and animals out in the environment, and recycle those nutrients to the environment instead of just leaving them around. So there are a lot of very helpful bacteria that are out there, which is important to keep in mind because usually we hear about the negative ones that cause all these horrible diseases and infections. Did you know that bacteria is what makes the holes in Swiss cheese? So at the end of the process, there's carbon dioxide gas which is produced, and that creates bubbles, which creates the holes that you see in the cheese that you eat. So there are 3 types of bacteria, and they're again classified by shape. The first is called Spirilla. These are spiral-shaped bacteria. So they move by twisting, kind of like a corkscrew. Some examples of Spirilla bacteria and some diseases that they cause would be the one that causes syphilis and also Lyme disease. The second type of bacteria is Bacillus, and it is rod-shaped, so it moves by sliding. Some examples of Bacillus bacteria would be E. coli, which is in the intestines of mammals, and also the bacteria that causes typhoid fever and food poisoning. And then you can see in the picture there, another type of Bacillus bacteria is anthrax. The third type of bacteria is Coccus or sphere-shaped. So you can see it kind of looks like clumps of grapes in that picture. And it moves by rolling. Some examples of Coccus bacteria is the type that causes strep throat and can also cause staph infections and gangrene. So those are the 3 types we're going to focus on: spiral-shaped, rod-shaped, and sphere-shaped bacteria.